Hi, this is Joacim Cans, the singer of Hammerfall, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That, of course, if you didn't know, was Hammerfall. It's brand new Hammerfall, of course. The name of that song was called Testify. It's from the new record called Dominion, and I don't even know if record is an appropriate term anymore.
It will always be a record.
It always will be to me, but these younger kids, they want it to be called a release or something else. But, of course, the person on the other end of this, Skyping in from Sweden, is Joacim Cans, the vocalist of. Oh, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent, man. I'm always excellent when I get new Hammerfall in my hands, man. You guys
Awesome.
are one of those bands that, you know, there's a few of them out there in the history of time that you just get a record and you know what you're getting. You guys are like the AC/DC of power metal, so to speak.
Yeah, you should never actually change the content of anything. Imagine you go in and you buy a can of beer, and your favorite beer is a Budweiser or a Coors Light. I'm just joking, but you buy a Coors Light and you open up the can and it's tonic water in there.
Right.
You're gonna really disappointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's why you should not change a winning concept.
Exactly. And you know what? There are bands that do try to make changes, and for some bands, I will say it works, but for other bands, it's just a formula for failure. I mean, bands that it works with, obviously, you know, a band that I know you are highly influenced by, Judas Priest. They have definitely taken chances and tried different things here and there, and it worked for them. But for the very most part, you can almost look at any band that has a long catalog, a long career like yours, and you can point to that record where they said, well, we're going to try and be more modern, or we're going to go more artsy, or we're going to do this. You can almost point to that record as when they just dropped, you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I think there's also a band that they try once and they failed miserably, but then they went back to the roots again, and then it worked.
Sure. No,
Which
you're
is,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, again, Judas Priest, they tried it with Nostradamus, went a little crazy with their thing, and we're like, uh-oh, this didn't work. Let's go back to doing what we do.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry about that. We're gonna, redo it. I just want to say one thing. You said about, releasing an album, and now they just release songs. I mean, Hammerfall, we don't write songs. We write albums. That's the way we roll. I mean, I hate that. Like, okay, now we're gonna release a new song. Like, a new song? How many, like, I mean, the thing is, when you sit down and you compose an album, I mean, there's so many things you have to think about. Okay, you have to start off with this type of song, and then you need some kind of a ballad in the middle somewhere, just to get people more kind of relaxed, or go to go to the bathroom, or go and grab a beer. So it's so well thought out.
Sure. And I've always wondered, I mean, this is obviously the new way because of the way music is sold these days, where a lot of bands are moving toward doing a single here and a single there for single there. You're not going to record it like that. You're not going to get together in the studio once every 3 months and record one song. That's a little silly. What would end up happening is you would record 8 to 10 songs and then put them out slowly over 2 years. Well, I would imagine for a guy like you that's immensely creative, by the time you got to the 3rd or 4th song, you'd be like, I've had enough of those songs. I'm ready to move on to the next phase. No?
I mean, that is the feeling I almost have right now, sitting here, and it's I'm not sure what day it is now, but we recorded this album earlier this year, and now I'm talking about something that I kind of left behind me,
Sure.
when I was done in the studio in March already.
Right.
So imagine releasing song number 12 in 2 years. Like,
right.
I'm going to hate that song. Like, you know what? You just moved on. I mean, and you're working on something else, and you can't really. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but I'm with you. I mean, I'm still an album person. I think that is.
Well, and I think for your band especially, or not only, but as Hammerfall, you guys do not write what I'll call singles either. It's not like you go to a record and you say, okay, well, these are the two hits, and then there's these. You
guys try.
Well,
you try.
Yeah, but ultimately, though, Hammerfall, as a fan, you guys are very much a start at song number one and listen through. You guys are an album-oriented band where the records make a lot more sense if you listen to it from start to finish. I mean, True. Yeah, everybody can listen to Hearts on Fire and go, okay, kick-ass song, and that's obviously probably the biggest song that you guys have had. Mm-hmm. But if you didn't listen to the whole album, all you know is that song. You probably don't even understand what Hammerfall actually is.
No, that's true. That's true. But of course, we don't really, like you said, we don't write hit singles like that. Mm-hmm. Sit down and make a plan how to get more airplay, because it doesn't really work like that. I think the first and foremost, you try to, the first song you release, you want to ease the eager from the true fans. Right. You want to satisfy them, give them something. Then you release something just before the album, something that is maybe a little more representative for the album itself, and that will make a good video.
Right.
Because nowadays, if we would say, no, we're going to write, a song that goes, on that works on mainstream radio, then we need to change styles.
Sure.
Big time, because people are just laughing at us if we would come to like a mainstream radio station and say, hey, listen to this. Dual guitars, double kick drums, and high falsetto vocals. Hey, you want to play this?
Right. You'd need a rapper in the band to do that these days, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we can get this guy A$AP Rocky. He's in jail in Sweden right now. So he's just a couple of streets from me here. I can, call him or go visit him.
Very nice. Well, Joacim, obviously 11 albums in, Hammerfall is still as creative as ever, still sounds as inspired as ever. Is it still as exciting for you, not necessarily to put out a record, but to get back together after an album cycle and after a little break and start creating new music and start creating stuff that is distinctly Hammerfall? Is that still exciting for you?
I would say it's more exciting than ever before at this point. I think with Hammerfall, we are at the perfect place. Both on stage and off. I think what we're doing now that we realize that we need to be friends also off stage. Okay. We need to get along in between the shows. And I think we learned that the main difference was on the previous tour, on Build to Last. We decided to focus a lot on North America. So we did two consecutive tours within a period of 12 or 13 months. And being on tour in the US is so much different than being on tour in Europe, because the tour buses over there is a little more, they're bigger because you're a street. Everything is bigger in the US, you know that? Yeah. And the roads and the buses. So, we spend so much time together, and we realized that a market that we thought was, totally dead for us was actually starting to simmer a little bit. Okay. So we decided to go back a year later, and then it was starting to boil a little bit. Okay. And I think those two tours made a very big difference for us as a band. Because we also realized, like I said, that we needed to do things outside of the stage. So if we had a day off, one day we just took a rental car, we drove from Phoenix up to Las Vegas, and we met the Journey guys. We saw their show. Okay. We flew back the next day to Dallas for the next show. Hungover, but it worked, and we had a lot of fun. So I think we are at, really at a very, very good place. What we also did for this album was that we started to be creative on tour. Okay. The artwork, the artist who's doing who did the artwork for this album, Sam Didier of Blizzard Entertainment, he told Oscar at one point, Oscar, it's ABC, always be creative. Sure. And he picked that up. So he kind of built a little mobile studio in the back of the bus, and I was sitting in the front of the bus being creative while on tour. This never happened before, because we as a band, we found like a momentum, so to speak. We had so much energy, and I think we were able to direct this positive energy from stage into the tour bus.